Hey, this is Steve. We are going to get started in just a second here. Looks like I'm having some network issues. I'm getting some errors on the encoding side. Can you guys see this all right and hear this all right? If you could leave a comment in the chat, that'd be super helpful. Let's see. Okay, looks like it's all working now. So welcome back. If you were on previously, we're now day 4 of 5 working through our project here, developing an Alexa skill for freeCodeCamp. I keep forgetting to turn Alexa off every time I say that. Today we are going to cover a lot. We started talking about slots yesterday, and we are going to get into it a little bit more today and talk about custom slots. So we're down here day 4. A couple of other things that I talked about yesterday. I pushed all the code out to GitHub. And so if you go to github.com/dabblelab, there's a repo called freeCodeCamp livestream. So if you head out there, that is what I'm looking at right now. I've got all of the source code out there that we've been working on, along with our dialogue. Earlier this morning, I made some cleanups, or I just kind of took what we had from yesterday and cleaned it up a little bit. Let me show you what I changed, just so nothing is confusing for anybody that was here yesterday. So the dialogue, there's 3 intents that we're going to work through here. So I changed the example dialogue to Alexa. Well, actually, I'll just play it so you guys can hear it. Or Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. Would you like to learn about freeCodeCamp, hear about our most recent Medium post, or get answers to frequently asked questions?
Get answers to frequently asked questions.
There was an error. The error was, could not find handler that
Alexa,
could
stop.
handle
Yeah, so that's where we're going to pick
Goodbye.
up today. So we didn't get that implemented yesterday, but we also, what we did get implemented yesterday was the Medium post, and I changed that around just a little bit to make it less stubbed out. So Alexa, open freeCodeCamp. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. Would you like to learn about freeCodeCamp, hear about our most recent Medium post, or get answers to frequently asked questions?
Most recent Medium post.
The most recent article posted on Medium for freeCodeCamp is titled, Recursion Demystified. It's been recommended 0 times.
Alexa, stop. Okay, so that's really, so I didn't change a whole lot. I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit so that it made more sense. So we're gonna pick up today from there. And like I said, today we're gonna implement the dialogue. Let me just recap what we did yesterday before I get into this. So yesterday, day 3, we
there was an error. The error was,
Alexa, stop.
Goodbye.
Okay. So yesterday we talked about debugging, and we looked at making modifications to the skill manifest, and then we also talked about beta testing. And for anybody that filled out that Google form, you should have gotten an invite to beta test. And if anybody wants to do that hasn't done it already, if from the repo, from the README page, I put a link here to complete the form to beta test the skill. So if you've got an echo and you want to test the skill before it's published live, you can use the beta test link to do that. Okay, so let's get into day 4. So like I said, using slots. So the functionality that I'm gonna get into today is custom slots, and specifically what we're gonna do, and we started talking about this yesterday, but didn't get very far into it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a custom slot and an intent for handling questions that could be pretty much anything. As I was thinking about it a little bit more after we finished up yesterday, a lot of the functionality that we had kind of brainstormed 2 days ago, a lot of it was Q&A. And so what I tried to do is come up with a way that we could go at that where we could pretty much have any kind of question, so sort of a knowledge base that could expand, and that is what we're going to try to implement here today. And I also mentioned yesterday, there is on skilltemplates.com, there's a template called knowledge base starter, and so I'm using some ideas from that for this, but I've changed it up a little bit for today. So some of the code I'm just gonna copy and paste in, so we can move through it pretty quickly. But I'm gonna start with the model and going in here, and what we're gonna do first is we're gonna create a custom slot type, and we're gonna do that up here in the types section of the interaction model. And the type that I've come up with here, let me this is what because there's a lot here, so I'm gonna just copy and paste this in and then talk about it. Give me 1 second here. So I've created a type called questions, and this is where we're going to define all of the questions that a user could ask, and we're also going to define synonyms for the questions. And what this is going to allow us to do is basically, like, if we've got one answer, we might have that answer might answer multiple questions. So for example, if somebody says, what is freeCodeCamp? Our answer might say, CodeCamp is ... it was founded ... and founded by ... and we could have a lot more than one response or one answer covered. And so we'll use synonyms to map different ways that somebody might ask the question to the same answer. And the way that we're going to do that is with this ID here. So we're going to have another file that we're going to use. So we'll add our questions in here into the questions custom slot type. And I've just got some placeholder ones in there now, but we can build that out. I've just got 5 questions, but this can expand. I think the upper limit for custom slot values, I want to say it's 50,000. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's something like that. So we've got a lot of room to grow. If this got really big and was changing often, a better way to go at it might be to use like Elasticsearch or something like that on the back end. But I think for illustrating what we're trying to do, which is really more Alexa stuff, this makes more sense. So we're going to do it this way. But what we are going to also need is a way to map to the answers. And so what I'm going to do is I'll have a folder called data, and then in that I'm going to have a file that's just going to be a JSON file that's going to have my answers, and I'll show you how we're going to do that real quickly. So I'm gonna call that file answers.json, and in here, and I've only done one so far, and then I've just got some placeholder ones here. So before we built this out, or before we published this live, we'd of course go through and add all the questions. And like I've been saying previously, so if anybody wants to help out with these questions, please feel free to go out to the site and grab some questions or add your own questions. And we should probably provide a way for somebody to, actually we'll do that. We'll provide a way that somebody can ask a question that hasn't been answered, and then we'll capture that question so that we can answer it. But for anybody that wants to contribute, like I said before, go follow the repo that I set up and do a pull request, and we'll incorporate your changes in there. So we've got the questions, we've got the answers. What else do we need? We need to define our custom intent, right, inside of our model. So let's do that next. We're gonna have an intent that I am gonna call knowledge base intent. So we could call it like QA intent or something like that too, but now knowledge base intent works. So we'll go in here and got our recent articles. We'll put it like right below that. So we've got our knowledge base intent, and the knowledge base intent has one slot, and the slot name is question and the type is question. So this is what we just defined up here. So when we created a custom slot type, the name here is what I'm referencing down here. And then in the sample searches, this is, you'll see when in the code for the intent itself. So there's kind of two things that can happen here. You could just have somebody say, hey, you know, I want to search the knowledge base, or you could have somebody actually submit a question and say, you know, what is freeCodeCamp, or any question for that matter, if we've got it defined. So I've got samples here where some of them are just static, like search, you know, take me to frequently asked questions, FAQ. And then I've also got the slot as just a sample as well. And so we're going to hopefully make this work to get our questions answered. So now I've got the questions and the answers. And for those of you that have been following along, you know, now we need to handle the custom intent, the knowledge base intent. So I am going to, let's see here, what are we going to do? We're going to go into our index here, and what do we got to do here? So well, for starters, we need to include the module, right? The QA module. Do I have that? I don't have that yet, but actually let me do that next. So I'm creating a folder for, this is going to be just a local node module that we're going to use to query the data file, the answers.json file. And I'm going to call this QA.js. And this is going to, and this code is just exactly as it is in the, what's it called, the knowledge base starter from skilltemplates.com. So I'm not changing any of this. So, but I'll push all this stuff out to the repo, so you'll have all this code anyhow. Let's see. Okay. So I'm requiring here the native node file system module, and then also we're requiring the answers that I just added back here earlier. And then we've got just one function in here that's pretty simple. It is returning a promise, but it's looking up to get the answer based on the ID that's going to be passed. And the ID, I'll show you how that is getting passed over by the Alexa service. So that's what we defined in our interaction model here. So this ID is the ID that we're going to be using to query that JSON file with our answers. Okay. Let's see, what am I missing here? Now I need my handler, and let's do that next. So I did modify this code this morning. This is not exactly the same code as the knowledge base starter, but it's pretty close. And again, I'll push all of this code out so we have it. Let's see. I'm going to put it below that. And did I include? No. So I need to also include the QA and you don't have to add the .js, but I like to because it reminds me that it's local. I guess I could see that just from the path, but that's why I do that. So we've got our QA. We're getting close. Let me talk through what's going on here in the knowledge base handler. So we talked about the basic intent structure previously, so I'm not going to go over that again, but we're going to be looking for an intent request, and the intent is the knowledge-based intent, which, let me just confirm that I didn't change that, but I think that's what we called it, right? Yeah. So the knowledge-based intent, and then in here, so there's something called entity resolution, which basically, when you're using synonyms, it's going to look at everything, look at what the request was from the user, the utterance, and then try to match it to the right slot type, but it's going to be, there might be multiple possible matches. And so what we're doing in here is we're going to be looking at the very first match, which I think is going to work in most cases. We'll test it out, but let me show you that here. So basically it could return if it matched, if whatever the user says matches multiple possible answers. What we're doing here is taking the ID of the very first answer, and then we're using that ID to get, or question rather, the ID of the very first question, and then we're using that to get our answer. And we're building our response from information that we've got in our answers.json file. So this file has the ID, which maps to the question ID, and then the answer is whatever we want here, and then the prompt is going to prompt the user for whatever we want them to do next. So like in this first example, which I built out, it's handling the very first question, which is what is freeCodeCamp, and so the response should be let me do this, freeCodeCamp. freeCodeCamp is a place where you can learn to code for free. There are online challenges, YouTube videos, Medium posts, and podcasts. Which would you like to hear more about? And this, I can't remember who provided that. We had it, but thank you for whoever did. Somebody provided that yesterday or the day before. So we're going to reprompt by basically asking what they want to do next. I think we're pretty close to being able to test this. Let's see. So deploying. All right. I'm going to look through the questions while this is building and deploying, and then we'll test it out and see how it's going. We can set the trigger. Hey, welcome, Mr. Quality Time. Thanks for hopping in. So Startup Santana, you got your request. Is it working? Is the skill working? The beta test? Are you able to say Alexa open freeCodeCamp? Looks like this is deployed. Let's see if it's working. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. Would you like to learn about freeCodeCamp, hear about our most recent Medium post, or get answers to frequently asked questions?
Frequently asked questions?
There was an error. The error was, could not find handler that can handle the request.
Oh, okay.
Request. Requested. Amazon 1.echo API.request.
Okay, Alexa, stop. So we did forget to do something. We forgot to register the handler. So we talked about this yesterday too, and I always forget this. But that happens down here. And I need to deploy again, but this time I can just deploy the Lambda function. Which will go faster, so this will just take a second here. Okay, there we go. So let's test this again. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. Would you like to learn about freeCodeCamp, hear about our most recent Medium post, or get answers to frequently asked questions?
Frequently asked questions?
Ask me a question like, what is freeCodeCamp?
What is freeCodeCamp?
freeCodeCamp is a place where you can learn to code for free. There are online challenges, YouTube videos, Medium posts, and a podcast. Which would you like to hear more about?
Podcasts?
Hello, podcast. It's nice to meet you.
Alexa, stop. So you can see that the response that we're getting back on that, it's mapping to, in our interaction model, a intent that we created yesterday, that hello intent. So basically what we need to do is we need to go in here and we need to do a question like, what is your podcast about? And then for some synonyms, we'll go something like this. Podcast. Tell me about your podcast. let's see, do you have a podcast maybe? Maybe how often is the podcast updated? Okay, we'll leave it at that for right now. And then I would go over into my answers for number 2 and say the answer is our podcast is called the freeCodeCamp podcast that you can find on iTunes. I'm assuming it is, yes. And it covers stuff you'll love. And then down here, like I said before, this is where we will reprompt them for something else. Maybe we'll just say something like, what other questions do you have? What other questions can I answer for you? And so now let's redeploy and try this again. So now I'm just deploying the code. Actually, I need to deploy not just the code because we made a change to the interaction model here. And anytime you make a change to the interaction model needs to be rebuilt. So I can't just deploy the Lambda function. I need to deploy the Lambda function and rebuild the model. So that's what's happening here. This is going to take a second. And again, while that's happening, I'm going to read through the comments. So if you have any comments or thoughts or ideas, post away. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. Would you like to learn about freeCodeCamp, hear about our most recent Medium post, or get answers to frequently asked questions?
Frequently asked questions.
Ask me a question like, what is freeCodeCamp?
What is freeCodeCamp?
freeCodeCamp is a place where you can learn to code for free. There are online challenges, YouTube videos, Medium posts, and a podcast. Which would you like to hear more about?
The podcast?
Our podcast is called the freeCodeCamp podcast that you can find on iTunes, and it covers stuff you will love. What other question can I answer for you?
What about question 3?
Question 3 is the third of 5 sample questions. You can also prompt users to ask another question. For example, what is question 4?
Alexa, stop. So you can see how this works. We would just build out the knowledge base by first adding the question to the interaction model. And
ask me a question like, what is freeCodeCamp?
Alexa, stop.
Goodbye.
Yeah, so we would extend this by just adding the questions as a value in the custom slot type that we called questions, and then we would have any synonyms that would help train the Alexa service on how to know when somebody is asking something that could be answered by our answer, which we would put in the answers.json file. And all we would need to do, all you need to do to tie them together is just post this, or make sure that the ID in the answer matches the ID in the question. And I'm gonna, because this is working right now, I'm gonna go ahead and just commit this in case anybody wants to look at the code on GitHub. Added QA. And push that out. So you guys can take a look at that in a second once it is pushed out. And the other thing that I wanted to show you, because we're doing pretty good today on time. We kind of got into the slots a little bit yesterday, so I'm a little ahead of where I thought. So we'll probably finish up early today. But I'm going to see if we can do one more thing because we've got a little bit extra time here. I'm going to, let's try this this simulate command. So so you go ask simulate, and then I think it's -t. Actually, it'll tell me, give me an error, tell me what I didn't do. Yeah. -text. So I'm gonna just pass what is freeCodeCamp, and I think it's also gonna want a locale. Yeah, see if I can remember how to do this. I think it's en-us. Let's see. Yeah, that was it. So now we're testing, and we're doing that from the command, and we got unexpected error. So let's see. I'll say open. Let's just try open freeCodeCamp, see if that works. Yeah, so that did work. So up until this point, we've looked at the testing in the developer console through the web and through Alexa, through the Echo. But you can, and I mentioned this earlier, you can also test using the CLI. I wanted to show you something here. So this is just a launch request, but if we change this up to be something like I want to show you the entity resolution part. So ask freeCodeCamp, what is freeCodeCamp? see if this works. Okay. So we got our answer back. I want to show you the request though. Okay, so this is the request that went from the Alexa service to our skill service, and you can see in the request the question slot is being passed over, and the request type is an intent request. So this is, and I know we talked about this, so I'm just recapping because we've got some time, but the intent handler, not recent articles, the intent handler here is getting this request, and it's coming in as the handler input. And we're looking in here in the can handle method function for the type, and the type is intent request, which is here, and then the intent name. So request intent name, knowledge base intent, which is this, and then down here we're looking at to see if the request has resolutions. So in here, that's yes. And then in there, we're setting this variable resolution to the first record in the resolution per authority, which is an array. So here's that resolution per authority, and actually I think there's only one in this. Yeah, there is. But if it had matched to multiple possible values, we'd be taking the very first one in all cases. So you'd probably, if you were going to roll this out live, you'd want to do a lot of voice testing and checking this to make sure that the utterances are being mapped the right way. But I think that is probably where we're going to stop for today. But let me just go look at our outline here. Maybe there's something else that we can get in today. Using slots, multi-turn dialogues, that's a longer topic, so we're not going to get into that today. Persisting to DynamoDB, that kind of goes with that, so I'm going to hold off on that. What we can do though is just update, we can do some cleanup stuff right now on it. So let's see, camp logo, I saw this out here. Maybe we can just update the logo and that kind of stuff. And we talked about where that was, but let's see. I thought I had one. Oh, let's start a new one. So the logo sizes are 512 by 512 pixels for the larger logo, and I think 108 maybe. I'll confirm that. Yeah, so actually, this works here. Let's see, and I think I have it. Alexa icon small, and Alexa icon large. Yeah, so the large icon is 512 by 512, and the small icon is 108 by 108. And I think I could just do like this, I think. Let's see. Maybe not. Or maybe so. Maybe I just need to change the background color. Yeah, but I need to know what color that is. So it's probably on here somewhere. Yeah. There we go. And I'll do the same thing for this. And get these fixed up. I know this is not really Alexa coding, but like I said, we got a little time and I want to try to get this skill as far along as we can. All right. I think they can be PNGs. And let's see. Save that. And save this. And then I need to put these someplace. So I'm going to put them on just in an S3 bucket. It's temporarily for right now. I think I've got one. If not, I can create one. Actually, you know what's going to be faster? We can set this in here. You can also set it in the skill manifest, which is something that we looked at yesterday also, which is normally how I do it, but just for time, I'm gonna just go into the developer portal and just do it here. So this here. And a large icon. Oops. Large. save that. We're like really close now to having it ready where we could probably, if we updated the content, we could probably publish it. So let's do one final test, and then we'll call it a day today, unless anybody has any specific questions, and we could spend some time asking or answering questions that are related or even off topic. If you want to do that, just let me know in the chat. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. Would you like to learn about freeCodeCamp, hear about our most recent Medium post, or get answers to frequently asked questions?
Tell me about freeCodeCamp.
freeCodeCamp is a place where you can learn to code for free. There are online challenges, YouTube videos, Medium posts, and a podcast. Which would you like to hear more about?
The podcast?
Our podcast is called the freeCodeCamp podcast that you can find on iTunes, and it covers stuff you will love. What other question can I answer for you?
What's the most recent Medium post?
The most recent article posted on Medium for freeCodeCamp is titled Recursion Demystified. It's been recommended 0 times.
So you guys can see, Alexa, stop. Even though I'm asking different questions, some of them are in our Q&A, or some of them are handled by our QA handler. Others are being resolved to their own intent. So, so like that one is a separate.
Ask me a question like,
Alexa,
what is freecode?
Alexa, stop.
Goodbye.
And we would probably continue building this out. Like I added some of the ideas that we had talked about when we were first planning this. But some of the things that I don't know if we'll get to Adam or not, but just some other feature ideas, provide a list of upcoming live stream events on YouTube. I think we could probably get that one in. Let users listen to podcasts. Listen to the podcast. I think that would be really cool. And then provide a QA and coding trivia functionality. I think that'd be fun. And then let users watch videos if they have like the Echo Show, Spot, and Fire Tablet. I think that we could get that kind of stuff in. But let me show you one other thing that I've added. That let me see if I can get it to do this. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. Would you like to learn about freeCodeCamp, hear about our most recent Medium post, or get answers to frequently asked questions?
How many colors are in the rainbow?
Ask me a question like, what is freeCodeCamp?
How many colors are in the rainbow?
Ask me a question like, what is freeCodeCamp?
Alexa, stop. So one thing that I was trying to do, I obviously don't have it working completely yet, was to set up a way here where if the user asks a question that we can't handle, then we would respond back with this, sorry, I don't know, I've sent your question to one of my human coworkers who can teach me the answer. Please ask me again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have an answer for you then. And then here we would capture the question like to a database and probably email somebody so that they could go in and add the answer to our answers file and add the question also to the questions file. So that is functionality I think that we could get working. So let me add that to our dialogue or our future roadmap. All right, and I think, yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. If there are no other questions, then thanks so much for for hopping on to today's stream, and we will continue tomorrow. And tomorrow, like I said, we are going to cover multi-turn dialogues, and we're going to also look at persisting stuff to DynamoDB. So thanks so much, and hopefully I'll get to see you back tomorrow.